Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we'll talk about formatting text with cascading style sheet. So in formatting text, we will first try to assess the web fonts. In this, we will talk about different families. We'll declare the font family for the use on the web page. We will use the custom fonts. We'll try to declare font size and the line height, and then we will implement bold and italic style. Now, there are 5 generic cascading style sheet font families, 5 families of the fonts: serif, sans serif, monospace, cursive, and fantasy. These are the 5 families that we are having in our font list. Now, the serif is the one that has a strike on the characters. For example, look at the T, it has a small strike. These kind of fonts are good for the headings. Now, we have a sans serif, like Arial is one of the example. It doesn't have the strike, so it's just straight. Similarly, we do have a monospace like Courier New or Lucida or Console. This is what we are using for normally program writing, the coding. We are using this style. And the cursive is, a style, is another style. Fantasy, so these are the example of the fantasy styles family. So we are having basically 5 families, and it depends on us which family we would like to use. So now we do have font types. If you in every family, for example, sans serif, we have some kind of wide sans serif. You see here, you can see the wide, and then we do have a narrow. And the best example is you might have seen the Arial and Arial narrow. So this is an example for all these kind of styles. So serif wide and serif narrow or monospace. So these are the font types. Now we do have font stack. Inshallah, we'll be using in our examples font stack. Font stack means the computer should look for this font first and apply on the page. In case if this font is not available on the machine, then he can look for the second one. If the second one is not there, then he should look for the generic font. By the way, this generic font should be your last font when you declare the font stack. So that if none of them is available, then at least these generic font, which are by default on every computer, so computer should be using one of the generic font from the in the stack from your computer. So this is a font stack. So let's see the example. Now we are trying to declare a font family. So we have like body. So for the body, what I'm doing is I need a font family like Tahoma, Arial. If you see, Tahoma and Arial is an example of the sans serif family. So let's go and see. And then this is Helvetica. If none of the font is available on the computer, the guy who is using this website, then it should go for the sans serif default font family font. And now we are having a heading 1 and heading 2. So we are using the Times Romans, and if it is not available, then go for the serif default generic font. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let me copy and paste into my style sheet for my web page. Now, so for example, in a body, what I'm doing is I can copy and paste my this code for the font family. So my font family is Tahoma. Here you go. The font family is Tahoma, and Arial is the next one. So let's try that. I can save this one, and I can say I want to refresh the page, and you just notice that the body font will be changed. Okay, I think I applied this font before, so let me refresh the page. Okay, so this is the default one. Now I will add this body font, the family font, and when I will refresh the page, you will see the change. There you go. So this is the Tahoma by default. Imagine if the Tahoma is not available here. let me delete the Tahoma, and then I can, so it will go for the Arial, by the way, you see. Or if I even change, if I bring back the Tahoma and I refresh the page, it's changed again. If I say no, Arial is my first font, okay, and Tahoma is my second font. So let's see what happens. So it will go for the Arial first. You see that? So it's applying this font first. If it is not available, then it will go for the second font. Now, what we can do is, similarly, we can go for the head 1 and head 2. If you see, headings are from the sans serif family. So let's go and see heading. So now I want to change my heading to the serif family. And the serif family, you will see the strikes, the time Romans. So heading 1 and heading 2 should be having strikes. Now let me refresh the page. You see that? Now I got a strike on the heading 1 and on the heading 2. So this is how you can declare your font family for your web page. Now we want to use a custom font. This is another interesting concept. What we'll do is we'll go for the, for example, we can go for the Google and we can get the font bitter, okay? And then we'll try to embed that style into our web page. So let's go to the font.google.com, and there I can see, okay, let me search. These are different fonts which are available, you know, so many fonts are available here. But I'm interested in one of the font that is known as Bitter, B-I-T-T-E-R, Bitter. So there you go. So I have this font. Now I can click on that. Now if you see, I'm having so many styles. This is thin 100 italic, this thin extra light italic, blah, blah, blah. So many styles are there. But I'm interested in the regular one, regular 400, okay? So what I can do is I can click on the select this style, okay? So I can select this style and I can say, okay, I add this style. So I can add this style to my, and let's see the embedded one. And now I can embed this style into my web page. I can click on the link and then I can copy this link, okay? So where I can go is I can go to my head, and in this head, within this head, I can give this link command, okay? I can give this link command so I can use the bitter font. So this is how you can copy the link from the web and just give a link for that font. So let's see what we have in the next. So we linked it, and now what we're going to do is we will use this into our page. So what I'm going to do is I can say, okay, in this part the bitter is available now, so please use the bitter font first, then go for the time Romans if this bitter is not available, and then go for the times, and if it is not available, then go for the generic serif font, whatever is available on this PC. So let me refresh, and you see, you will notice the heading will be changed now. You see that the headings are changed now because of this. And if you just remove this one, for example, I just cut it, and now you can see it will go back. It will see bitter is not available. It will go for the time Romans, and it will go back like that. So I'm just bring it back, and I can refresh, so I can have the bitter font on my machine. So this was how we can use a custom font already available from the website. Now declaring a font size. So for example, this font size I want to make it, so I'm going to say in the H1 for example, I say H1, font size is 3 EM, okay, and semicolon. So let's see the heading 1 font size. Oh, there you go. So it's a 3M font size. So similarly, I can go for the H2 as well. So H2 is smaller than the font size, so I will be keeping it smaller than the H1. So I'll say, okay, this is my 2.4 font size, and I can refresh the page, and if you see, it's changed to the 2.4. Similarly, you can, let's try the article, and it has font size as well as the line height. So in the article, I say font size is 1.2 EM and the line height is 1.4 EM. So let's try the article. Now look at the article and the line height. There you go. So we implemented the line height as well. Now, by the way, as we talked earlier, that you can give the font size to the HTML. For example, the HTML font size is 12, so I can go. If we did not implement the font size, then by default it will pick 12 pixels for everything. Oh, there you go. So now for every pixel, for this page, by default the font size is 12 pixels. Okay, now implement bold and italic. Remember one thing, until today, whatever we worked on the elements, those elements are block level elements. Means if this is heading 1, this is like a block. Nothing will, if you write a heading 2 after that, it will come to the next line. Again, this is again a block. Similarly, this, when you use the paragraph, this paragraph is a block. So everything you work until today is a block. Div is a block. So if you look at it, so what we need to do is, for example, if I have to do something with this text, like for example, Lakeland, I cannot use block level blocks. Otherwise, what it will happen, it will push everything on the next line. So we do have a command or tag that is inline block. So that is what we call span. So for example, for this Lakeland read, if I say I want to give it a separate style, so I can use span. Okay, and in this one I can say, okay, I have a class that is equal to title. Maybe I can say, yeah, why not, title, TITLE. Okay, and I can say close the span, and for this one I say closed the span here as well. Now I can give the title. So in the title I have, so I can write a title, for example, the class dot title in my style sheet, and that is what we say, font style is italic, semicolon, save. Now you see here, this will become the italic. Okay, there you go, the Lakeland read, and it didn't go to the next line. But if I used any block level, for example, if I say div, and if I say div close, you know, it is a block level, it will push everything to the next line. You see that? It pushed everything to the next line. So we will be using span, that is inline. So it will not impact the paragraph or style or whatever you're, there you go. So this was the inline, and we do have some other properties. For example, font style is italic or small caps. Let's try the font variant, small cap, for this one. I say font variant is small cap. Okay, and if I refresh this page, you see that it becomes small caps. So we can use the variants. Okay, we can use all these properties. Oh, font weight is bold. Let's try this one. So what will happen in this title, it will make the font weight bold for this one as well. There you go. So you can try all these properties. That's it for today. So كفارة مجلس سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.